guys, we have a huge treat for you guys today. Not only 3 of us, we got 3 ZR1 Corvettes. We got the OG, and we got 2 of the new ones with different specs. I got my brother Gil over here.
What's up, guys?
I got my daughter Shiley over here.
Hey.
And we're gonna share these cars with you. We're super excited about them. By the way, this is the Fusion channel, if you don't know where you're at. Let's start with the OG.
Yeah, listen, this is where it all began. A lot of firsts on this car. Back in the late 80s, GM actually acquired Lotus and went out and set to, at the time, create the fastest production car. And that's really what gave birth to, as you know, the first LT5.
Yeah, so LT5, I have a love affair with the LT5. I'm actually installing an LT5 crate motor in my 69 Camaro that I had since high school. If you saw the interview with Shiley, you would see the car in the background that we're working on. And we'll do more videos on it. Yes, like to Gil's point, this is the original LT5. So they use Lotus Engineering to build this. It's an all aluminum 5.7 liter dual cam 32 valves. But what was even more cool about it, when they went into production, they didn't build it in-house. They actually outsourced it to Mercury Marine, that if you own the boat, you know pretty much the best motors. They hand-built these motors.
Yeah, and there's always seems to be a love affair between cars and boats, right? And the owner of Mercury Marine actually reserved 2 LT5s, bumped them to 420, and threw one in what's become the famous wet vet boat that he set out and built for himself. Yeah.
So they all started here, 1990 to 1995. I think in 93, they bumped the horsepower from 375 to 405. Cars ran 4.4 seconds, 0 to 60, 13.4 1/4 mile. In those days, that was a big deal. They put a 6-speed manual. We'll go over. What's cool about this car that we have, it's got 30 miles on it. It's never been dealer prepped. All the plastic, everything is still on the car. How cool is that?
I mean, this is a time capsule like, we rarely ever see. And, if you followed our website over the years, you know that we had 3 of them that actually came out of the same collection.
Yes.
And the guy had this one with 30 miles. That was the lowest mile one in the wrapper. And then he had his high mileage car that he drove that had all of 300 miles on it, which was also obviously in pristine condition.
Exactly. So, and then, Shai, take us to what happened in 2019.
So in 2019, they came out with the ZR1s. I believe it was just in 2019, right?
1 year production.
Yeah, 1 year production. So these ones are very collectible as well, but...
Less produced.
Yeah, less produced. So this one over here, I believe this one only has 12 miles.
Yes.
This one we have over here is over 3,000 miles. And then for this one's really special because it comes in the ceramic gray color, and the interior is called Spice Red, and that's a super rare color combo. And then this one over here is the Arctic White with the Adrenaline Red, where the Adrenaline Red was a more common interior color for these cars.
How many of this ones they produced with this combo? Do you remember?
With this color combo, it's, I believe, 1 of 7
So
were
only
produced
7
with
cars
these together.
Super cool.
And then it's, I believe, 1 of 4 with the performance seats and this color, the ceramic gray.
Wow.
And it's 1 of 1 with these wheels.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's cool. So here's a special collector with 12 miles. Hopefully this will go into somebody's collection. This car's on our website if you want to see more pictures of this cars. This has the 1 year production LT5. This LT5, again, a game changer. They went supercharged on it. It's a reversion of the LT4 that was making 650 horse, 650 pounds of torque. They bumped it up. They put a bigger Eaton supercharger, 2350 supercharger on it. This car produces 755 horsepower and 715 pounds of torque. I'm gonna have a blast driving this today. So they've made a lot of different improvements on it, and these motors really became collectors. They stopped production. They built it only for 1 year. GM is out of the motors. I own 2 of these motors in the crates that I kept. I'm putting 1 of them in my Camaro. And people continuously call me and ask me if I know where to get one of these motors. And I can tell you that I have friends that have built these cars with the LT5s, and when they dyno them, they're all getting north of 800 horse out of the crate. So even so, they're rated at 755. Everybody I ever talked to, I think they're underrated. So this thing is going to be a lot of fun.
And, and it's a bit of a throwback to the old Corvettes, right? Like the old LT8s that out of the box were always underrated. And that's kind of like a GM thing. A lot of the cars that GM puts out, they'll say a certain horsepower, and it certainly feels a lot faster than that. And to me, this car, one day, people are going to be hunting these the same way they hunt, the 69 through 71 L88s. I mean, it's going to be a special car.
How many did they build of those, Charlie? Do you remember?
I believe 2,400.
About 2,400, 2,500 pieces. It's a one-year production car. And one thing that we didn't mention, it's the last front-engine Corvette right now. So everybody knows the new Vets are mid-engine. We love them. I think they're great. But this is still a muscle American car. Rear-wheel drive, front engine. I love that it's supercharged. Super cool. And then this one, Shai, has some special packages on it, right? What's the biggest package?
I believe that's a 3ZR package, about $10,000 option.
Okay.
And that's some of the interior equipment we'll notice when we get inside of it. And then it also has the racetrack.
Yeah, the track pack, which gives it the big wing. It's.
And that's a big option. People are looking for that.
Yeah.
People are looking. It gives you more aerodynamic downforce. It actually slowed down the car on top speed compared to the low wing car. But this car, if you're going to go handle and you need the downforce, you're generating downforce from the front. It's got stickier tire stock. It's got different tuning on the suspension. It makes it a little stiffer if you're going to drive this car every day. And then it's got that big wing that you can adjust from flat all the way to 5-degree angle. Depends how much downforce you're trying to create. So super cool car. I think we should open the motor before we go inside and take a look and kind of see what they did under it, see what it looks like. So we opened the hood and we're looking at the original LT5 from the 90s. And so cool, naturally aspired. And what I noticed right now, if you take a look, the actual wires say LT5 on them. So this is such a cool car, 30 miles, everything is original. This is how the car really came out of the factory. One thing on it, 4 cams, 32 valves, all aluminum block, aluminum head. So a really lightweight motor that produced a lot of nice power for those days.
Yeah, and we talked about the horsepower ratings, and it doesn't sound like a lot in today's standards, right? But if you look back in the late 80s and early 90s, where top-of-the-line Camaros and Mustangs were barely hitting 200 horsepower, this is a lot. And this car held some very impressive records. This car held the world record for endurance, traveling 1,000 miles consecutively at 175 miles an hour.
That's huge. That's why you got Mercury building the motor. So yes, talking about horsepower, to put it in perspective, in 1990, you had a Fox body Mustang with a 5-liter 302 that people loved and they felt quick, and they were quick, right? 225 horse rated. They got this car's up to 405 horsepower, naturally aspired out of a 5.7 liter. It's not a big motor, it's a 350. So if you think about it, really good. Today we have better technology. We're getting more power for cubic inch, but really impressive for what it was for those years. I think the only knock on this car that I will say is, and we'll do some interior and stuff, but the only knock is the 6-speed manual is amazing when you're shifting it, but when you're not into high RPM, they're trying to get the mileage and stuff, and they have that lock where you go from first to fourth. They were trying to get the mileage on it. I was never a big fan of that. But besides that, the seats, everything on the car is really nice. This car has both tops. So it's got a glass top in the back that is still in the wrapper, and it's got the hard top, I call it, the painted top that is on the car. So, and you look for those days, look at the suspension, all aluminum, lightweight, and we love it, all the way to the C7s and C8. Corvette always had really advanced suspension on them.
Well, when you look at the suspension of this car, again, today we're used to this technology, but this has adjustable suspension, and it also is the first production car to have the the shocks with the oil in them that adjust, as you're driving the car and depending on the mode that you're in, and that's actually when you look at even a brand like Ferrari, something that Ferrari didn't have until the 458, and they borrowed that from GM, which came from this. This is where it started.
Yeah, and this car, when they released this car went out there and did compete and beat the Ferraris and the Mercedeses and the BMW. They actually released the car in Europe next to all those cars to compete, and I remember when this car came out, it was a big deal. So going into the 2019, you can see right away that they started using more carbon, lighter components, making it quicker by reducing weight and adding strength. So full carbon fiber hood that is super light, and they got this cover over the supercharger. Unfortunately, you can't see much without taking it all apart, but there's a big old supercharger. And what we're gonna do is, because we own Crate Motors, we'll give you guys what this motor looks outside the car, and we'll do videos of that so you can see that. But again, all aluminum block, aluminum heads with the supercharger on top. Super cool. We're not gonna spend too much time on the engine department. If you guys wanna see more, always hit us up and we'll do it. Carbon roof, carbon spoiler, a lot of carbon inside and out. You guys know we make carbon, so we're always in love with the carbon. But super cool, 2019. So checking the rear of the car, we're back into the 1991, the original ZR1. You could tell right away on this one, they put a nice little logo right here. But this taillights, Gil, they're legendary.
Legendary, and only the 90, when the 90 came out, only the ZR1 had these taillights, right? And then for 91 through the end of the C4 production, all the Corvettes got these taillights. Now, if you were growing up in that era of cars and were in the scene, if you had a lowered truck, right? Everybody would get the ZR1 roll pans with the lights at the bottom.
That's
I mean,
right.
These things became the stuff of legends. And the other thing that they changed after 90 is the ZR1 badging actually got removed from there, and it would be on the side of the car. So right away, you can distinguish the first year production C4 ZR1, because that's the only one that's going to have that emblem on the back.
The wheels changed.
The wheels also changed. That's correct.
Yeah.
The wheels changed a couple of times, but only the 90 had these.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And then just to show through the glass here, I don't know if we can see it. When we talked about this car, you can see it has all the original protective film, and it tells them actually that this has to be removed by the dealer. It's super cool. This car has never been dealer prep. I don't know where you find another one like this. Yeah, super cool car. Yeah. Let's walk over to the 19. I think they did a good job on the taillights on this. By the way, we didn't talk about it, standard ceramic brakes. So we didn't talk about that. Look at the exhaust tips on this car, I think. This is 4 pipes. Pretty cool. ZR1 right down the center. And then, again, if you have a track pack, you can't miss the spoiler. Immediately the car has a track pack. The cars that are called lower wing just have a smaller wing right here. They don't have this big wing that is adjustable.
It's a fighter jet. Look at it from the back.
I love the roof. I love how the carbon roof drops down and back up. Gives you more headroom just for the passenger and driver, but they don't need that extra height in the center. A lot of intakes to cool brakes down.
I think if you're on the track with this thing, this is people behind you. This is what they're saying for the majority of the day. This is the view that they're going to get used to. Is this ZR1 thing pulling away from them?
These cars have been ran in multiple tracks around the world. So what we'll do is we'll list on the screen all the results of the track times and what this car has achieved. We'll put the weights. We'll put all the correct information on the website. But great collector car. Not a lot of them have been built. Last front engine. rear-wheel drive car. And then the white one that we have with the 7-speed manual compared to the 8-speed automatic. We'll talk about it a little more when we drive it. How cool is that to get a 7-speed? And then we talked about that earlier, you know, with all the hybrids, electric motor. They're talking about an electric Corvette. To have a supercharged V8 with a manual gearbox, it's like what we did on the 4GT video, right? I mean, it becomes very unique.
At the risk of sounding like an old fogey, right? I mean, they're just not going to make them like this anymore. And this Corvette stayed true to what a Corvette has always been. Best bang for the buck. You know, of course, now at collector level, you know, status, of course, the price is different. But when you look at the original MSRP of this, for what you get, this is supercar performance for, you know, domestic V8 power, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. Really
Incredible.
is.
All right, let's go check out the inside, and then maybe we can go for a drive. All right. See, Gil is sitting here next to me, so he lost a toss with Shiley, who's gonna get scared today. So I feel bad for him because this is a serious
I think you're
car.
going to get another opportunity at the. Woo, you know, I think we're going to get another one of those
That's
here
right.
today.
That shifter feels nice. So believe it or not, guys, I have not driven a ZR1, a 2019 ZR1, and I'm super excited. There's a few things that this car has the. What's that package called that it has inside? ZR3?
The 3RZ or 3ZR package.
Yeah. So you get the carbon fiber steering wheel, sway, you get all the carbon trim, you get a lot of the goodies in the car. One thing that I wanted to that I didn't understand when I first looked at it is, it's got these 2 pedals right here. And I think they just used them from the automatic just because they have the space and the pedals. So this turns on and off the rev matching on the shifting. We're obviously going to have it on.
Well, of course, we're going to have it on.
Okay, so that'd be cool. And then this car's, I mean, got a heads-up display. And one thing we didn't talk about, you know, the 1990 also has a heads-up display. Yes. So guys, in 1990, heads-up display on the original one as well. But this has the heads-up display. And one thing I hope that the camera can catch today, looking out of the hood, how mean that looks.
Yeah, it's, listen.
I haven't seen that on a production car.
You know, Corvettes always had, or at least, you know, modern Corvettes have always had this long nose. And now when you've got this big cowl hood feel to it, I mean, again, I just feel like you right away are in an American muscle car. And it's, this is going to be kind of exciting. It's my first ride in one of these as well.
I'm super excited. I think we should start it up and get some exhaust sound and see what this thing sounds like. That was kind of interesting. I pushed the clutch down, but it wanted me to do the clutch and the brake at the same time for the car to start. So, kind of interesting. It's got a boost gauge that I love that. Right big boost gauge right there. Speedometer to 220. Red light is not that high, about 4,500 RPM looks like. Maybe you can go. Oh no, it's probably 6,500.
6,500. It looks like it's
just getting in there pretty quick. I didn't expect that. Oh yeah, well, this is gonna be interesting. This thing sounds mean.
It sounds really mean.
I didn't know it's going to sound like that. So let's see where the modes come. Here's Sport. Oh, opened up the exhaust, guys.
You can hear those butterflies.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it. And then we have Track, Tour. Okay, so it's got 3 drive modes. Pretty cool, nice frameless mirror. Nice finishers.
Yeah, because that's all your plugs are right here. So that might be, you know, you got some plugs right here.
Something is hiding though.
Yeah, sorry.
ZR1 logo right there.
Beautiful car. I got the quilted top. I mean, listen, this is, and of course, just like the 90, you know, this top comes off. You can store it in the back, drive open if that's what you fancy.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set the mirrors. Yeah, this is a cool car.
Heated, ventilated seats. You know, some nice modern amenities.
That you need. I think all we got left to do is go for a little drive. What do you think?
Smoke them if you got them.
All right, let's see what we can do.
It's your turn now, Gil.
My turn?
It's your turn.
Oh boy. All right. Hey guys, this is cool. You can set up different modes. So you can see I'm in stealth mode and it sounds like a little 4-cylinder. Then you can go to tour. Opens it up a little bit. Then you can go to sport. What a difference. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Let's do our little 45 degrees here. I'm sure it's pretty low. Especially with a long nose like this. It's always a challenge to get off driveways with these cars. Here we go. Don't seem too bad.
So wait, you're in track mode?
I'm in track
Suspension-wise.
track mode. Okay. Should I go to sport?
Well, yeah, maybe we can try touring kind of through these bumps. You know, it's kind of a rough road.
Okay, I'll do
kind of turn
touring.
it on a little bit.
Okay.
You know, the truth is, these cars, the settings, we played around with some of the screens. There's a
lot
million different
going on,
options. Yeah.
LT5 has so much power.
I feel like you're on it.
I'm not. we didn't talk about is that the LT5, something very cool, it's a direct injected motor. But it's very known that the direct injected motors get the valve all built up because it's not spraying directly on the valve. So what's cool about this one, they knew they're going to need more fuel on the boost. They added another 8 injectors that are traditional, and actually, when you go into the boost, they're spraying and they're shooting right at the valve to keep the valve clean. So it's actually got 16 injectors.
Wow, but only under boost.
Yeah, they come in when you need it, on demand. You know when you're wide open, yeah. So it's mostly direct injected, and then when you go into the boost. So if you own an LT5, get into the boost once in a while, get those valves clean. So we're back. Shadi was in the chase vehicle.
I had fun chasing.
Yeah, I took some videos. That's great. Gil was in the passenger
I was
seat.
holding on for dear life. I'm sure there's a couple of, but listen, I'm telling you, all you guys out there watching, making fun of my face, one day you got to get in the passenger seat with you all, and you'll understand.
You know what? Let's talk about the car. Nobody cares if you're getting sick in the canyon. We just got to talk about the car. The car is amazing. I'm going to say one thing. Supercharged noise, Demon beats it. I like a little whistle from the Supercharger, super quiet, okay? I will challenge the exhaust note, and I want to know what you guys think on the comments. What has a better exhaust note, the Demon or the ZR1? And with the rev match, from the inside, it sounded amazing.
Makes you feel like a pro driver.
Yeah, it felt great. Yeah, it looked like I was doing pretty good. Awesome car. It broke loose on us in third gear at about 60 miles per hour. After I warmed up the tires, I jumped on it and it broke loose. It's actually a pretty dangerous car, I would say. If you take off the traction control and you're driving, you can get in trouble quite fast. Love it. There's not a lot of negative I can say about this car. Great car. I really think that this is probably the best Corvette to date built. I know they're going to come up with something special for the mid-engine. Handling wise, it's going to beat this car. But again, being a raw 7-speed manual, front engine, V8, supercharged, I don't know if we're going to see those days again. I hope we do. But 1 year production LT5, big fan. Waiting for Nate to finish my Camaro with it. And then we'll have real videos of us having fun with it. Guys, thank you for being with us on this channel. Please subscribe. I'm happy to have my brother Gil and my daughter Shali on this video. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.